Okay, you wrote in your column yesterday about how India is looking to France to replace Russia and concluded with the old adage that in international relations, only interests are permanent, not friendships. So who do you think will benefit the most from this war in Ukraine?
I think that there are two issues here. I mean, there's, of course, the Indian issue, and I think you're referring to the relationship with China, I mean, with the Russians, which we discussed in our last episode on this channel. But, if you want to talk about who's going to benefit the most from this war, I think you have to start by saying that the Americans have in a very good position at this point of time. They have achieved so much without firing a bullet, without losing a single life. And Putin has played right into American hands. The Americans have managed to get Europe united like they were never before. The Germans have agreed to rearm. There's a substantial increase in their defense spending, which they've announced. And, the icing on the cake for the Americans is that the first thing they announced is that they're going to buy the F-35. So it's not a surprise that if you care to look at the shares of American defense companies, I mean, they like to call them defense contractors, but they actually defense companies, military sales, their shares are booming. I mean, in the last month, I think some of these companies, their shares have risen almost a fifth. So clearly the war industry is going to boom, not just in America, but also in Europe. But there's another issue here, I think, which we need to take off, and I don't see many commentators taking note of it. And it is that Russian energy exports are going to be a huge issue. I don't know if you're aware that Russia controls fully a quarter of global gas reserves. And in the list of nations with oil reserves, they rank sixth. Now, if they get into sanctions, they're not able to use these energy exports. They had plans to quadruple oil production, for instance. And that was going to be the lever they had for their growth in the next 20 years. And, this is that 20-year window while fossil fuels are still in use around the world. And I suspect that Mr. Putin may have cashed a big check in that direction, in the sense that he's going to lose a lot of oil revenue, gas revenue, which would have been critical for his economy. And I think he is going to be denied that. And what's more, there's talk about the Americans supplying gas to Europe. It won't be done very easily. It'll take maybe till the end of the year, maybe next year they'll start doing it. But it comes at a time when the U.S. is a net energy exporter, and I'm sure it'll work very well for them ultimately.